Good morning. Chris Lee of Southeastern 16 here, joined by my partners, Blake Lovell and Max Barr. We are here to talk SEC basketball. We had two games last night. The top-ranked Tennessee Vols beat Miami in the Jimmy V Classic. And then in the nightcap, Arkansas gets a big win over Michigan in one of the most exciting games I think you'll see. Just a wild game in terms of flow and everything. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Ball State, good to see you back, my man. One of the first guys at the channel. Hadn't seen you in a while. We're glad you were here. Blake Lovell, I'll throw it to you first to see where you want to start in these two games. So have at it, my man.
Well, I think we're going to start with the number one team in the country. I think that's only fair, and my voice is not the number one team in the country right now, but I'm going to do my best here. I think we start with Tennessee, and I'm going to find a tweet, and I may not get to it, but I'll wait a second. But I'm going to find a tweet to pull up for two people in particular on this show, and I'll pull it up here shortly. But the Tennessee Vols doing their thing again, getting a victory, 9-0 now in the season. Number one in your hearts, number one in your AP poll, number two in the Southeastern 16 power rankings. They get a 75-62 win over Miami. And, once again, I think, several things stood out. Jazz Lanier just can score. That's what he needs to do. 22 points, hits 4 threes. Like we said, that's all they got. They hit 10 threes again. This is what we're talking about with Tennessee. They're top 50 3-point shooting team in the country. And they're the most efficient 2-point shooting team in the country at this point. So it's just ridiculous. We thought the offense would be behind the defense. Not so much at this point. They're top 10 in both. Defense is 2, offense is 10. So the Vols doing their thing in this one. But Max brought up a good point, I think, on Twitter. Igor Milicic, his contributions to this team cannot be understated because he is he's so important. And, we go 16 and 9 here, had a block, had a steal, a couple assists. I'll let Max talk about his guy, Igor, because I thought, once again, he's just a big part of what they do. And, he may not get all the attention that others will, like Ziegler and Lanier, but Milicic is, he's such an important part of this.
Well, and he's been amplified by the loss of our guy, JP Estrella. Hope you're doing well, JP. Miss you out there. But Milicic is the team's best rebounder. I didn't really expect that coming into the season. He's the team's best rebounder. And, they closed the game out with Milicic at the 5. They to put that game away because it was getting a little testy there in the second half. Miami wasn't going away easy. And Rick Barnes went Milicic at the 5, small ball, to close this thing out and put a stamp on it. I think that just goes to show how important he is. And when he picked up that third foul, that is when Miami started to pick it up a little bit. It's his ability to switch. It's his ability to space the floor, still at 6'10", knock down a few threes, hit a few big threes in the final 10 minutes there. And then he's the team's best rebounder. He's so important for what this team does.
I didn't get to see it last night because of a school musical concert my daughter had. I saw a little bit. Where was DeBar last night?
He was out. He was out. I retweeted it before. It was reported before the game by the great Grant Ramey. If you need some Tennessee beat updates, it just says DeBar is out. That's I didn't get any. I don't know.
That's a little ominous.
Yeah, there wasn't much info on it.
Yeah, that's kind of feels like that's been that way all year.
Yeah, I hope he's all right. But you had your guy Cade Phillips step up,
Yeah, that continues to be the thing, and I think that, there's an interesting question actually, and we're gonna get to actually Sam Smith, our guy Sam. Where is he in the chat? I haven't looked at the chat this morning. Sorry.
He's still going through corrections right now. He hasn't been released.
Oh, okay. He actually had an interesting question. Now he did it in the Sam way, but I'm gonna play it right now because it ties into what we just talked about. So here we go.
Hello, gentlemen. It is I am calling to ask you an important question about SEC Southeastern Conference collegiate basketball.
Jeez.
Doing it for
The
my
Tennessee Volunteers only had 7 scholarship guys play last night. Are
True.
we concerned about their depth as we get into the conference play part of the season? Thank you very much for answering my very important SEC collegiate basketball question.
I think that was one of Sam's better questions throughout history.
Do we have a timestamp on that? When did that come in?
He sent one at like 5:53 this morning. He sent another, and the one he sent at 5:53 this morning, I am going to play at some point in the show. But I will tell everyone right now, you'll need to get your volume turned down a little bit. But yes, so
We maybe have some answers on Dubar, possible concussion protocol.
Oh man.
Is in the blue tent.
well,
But
they got
to answer
Illinois on
some depth-
Saturday.
To answer some depth, Cam Carr's going to be back soon. He's been out. So I believe it was 2 weeks ago they announced 4 to 6 weeks. And so if you line up that 6 weeks, that lines up directly with that first game against Arkansas to start SEC play. So Cam Carr is on the way.
You know what else is on the way? Tennessee against Illinois on Saturday. And you know what?
Ooh.
I'm already thinking about. I'm thinking about what's that spread going to be? Is it going to be Tennessee minus 30? Is it going to be Illinois plus 28? It could be one of the two. If that's the deal, you're getting great value at our friends at Bet Online because they are the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds, again, the earliest odds right now, maybe you set at Tennessee minus 30. I don't know. In-game live betting provides your Bet Online provides you with all the action. Somebody provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. I guarantee you it's Bet Online. The largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, college basketball, NHL, UFC. Head to Bet Online today. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, not next Christmas. Today. And don't forget to use that promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online. The game starts here.
Any more on the balls?
Well, I think let's answer Sam's question. To me, like, and you've seen this with Kentucky before, where Cal's got a really, not a very deep bench. He plays 7 guys a lot. At Tennessee, well, and Florida's in this boat a little bit too. We've talked about, like, is Florida's depth an issue? Like, right now, it feels to me like they are fine. And they've pieces in reserve. I mean, JP Estrella has been good when he's played. Now, I don't know what that means because it's not going to be playing SEC competition, compared to what he's played now. You mentioned Cam Carr. He's given them things at times. So I think they've got some pieces in reserve, but my answer, let's say that and I'm not saying this at all, okay? I'm just saying for worst case scenarios sake, let's say that those guys aren't playing because Barnes doesn't trust him, which I don't think is the case.
Well, Estrella's out.
Okay. Oh, that's right. He's done for the year, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's where the problem starts. To me, when you get in this spot, it's not necessarily where you are. It's what happens if you get one more key guy hurt. And I don't think they're quite there yet, but that's my concern with them. And thank you, Max. I'd call he's been out for a few weeks now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, here's the deal. All right. Yes, I think that can also apply to other teams. But Sam did bring up a good point that, only having 7. Sure, if you'd have played, I don't know, Houston or not Miami, Duke or somebody like that last night.
The Illinois game.
Right, the Illinois game is going to be interesting. Like, yeah, maybe it's a little bit different because if you get somebody in foul trouble or something like that, certainly possible. But you know what, guys? You know what Tennessee has? They've got someone who you two let's say about a month or so ago.
You got to be kidding me.
Let's say about a month or so ago, decided should not be on your first team All-SEC ballots, unlike yours truly. A unanimous vote for me, which would make sense because it was just me, so it had to be unanimous. But our guy, John Rothstein, on Twitter, putting the nation on notice. It's time to start talking about Tennessee as a guy Ziegler, not as a first-team All-SEC guy, as an All-American. Oh, Chris jumped off. He wanted no part of this. The guy
handle it.
He said, "I'm out of here." Relentless on defense, poised on offense, 35 assists in the last 4 games. Vols are 9-0 after the win over Miami. And Max, what I think is funny, the first comment underneath it, our guy, Nate Oates Burner, out here acting like what John Rothstein said is not the truth. And there's quite a few comments on NOB's reply here. But, again, as long as they got Zakai Ziegler, they're going to be fine because he's running the show out there. They're in good shape, and yes, we can play the injury discussion because, quite frankly, there's not a lot to talk about with Tennessee outside of that because they've been so good to this point. And I know a lot of people, and this discussion was had in my comments on Twitter yesterday, putting out bracketologies and all this stuff. People are asking, why is Tennessee as high as they are? Why are they number 1 in the AP poll? Why are they number 1 seed in most bracketologies? They haven't beaten anybody yet. I said, well, you can say that, but at the same time, they've beaten everybody in front of them, and they've done it handily. And so are we going to penalize a team for that? And so, yes, do I still think Auburn maybe has a better resume? I do. That's just my personal opinion. But Tennessee has steamrolled everyone in front of them so far. We cannot penalize them for that. We have to accept that the eye test also matters, and Tennessee is one of the top 2 teams in the country, whatever order you want to put them in. I think Auburn and Tennessee are the 2 best teams in the country right now, my opinion. Kentucky fans may, disagree with that. Cats are in the top 5, but that's just what I think. So again, I think we can play the metrics game and all that. That'll all solve itself as we get into February and March. But right now, I get it. Like, they've not played the schedule that others have, but at the same time, what do? Do we pick them apart because they're 9-0 and have beaten everybody by double digits? No. So,
Blake, I'm going to back you up here. And I hate that I'm going to do this, but I am. So our good friend Evan Mia, sorry, I always have to say both because I don't know which one it is, does the player ratings. Every analytics has a version of player ratings. Number 1, Janai Broome, of course. You have number 3, Cam Jones at Marquette, Cooper Flagg. You got some very, very good guys up here. Josh Hubbard is at 7. Do we know who number 2 is behind Janai Broome and in front of Cam Jones and Cooper Flagg? Blake, who's number 2 right now?
I do, because I put this tweet out yesterday morning. It is Zakai Ziegler from Tennessee.
It is. He's been better than anyone could have imagined. I don't care what you think of him. Numbers don't lie. I was wrong.
It happens, Max. Sometimes you're wrong.
Well, I took him off the first team ballot for Josh Hubbard, who happens to be also top 10 in the nation in player performance.
That's fair. It's fair.
Cut me a break.
Fair. All right. We might have Zakai Ziegler and some other players in our members-only video coming up today, folks. If you're a member of the It Just Means More tier, Southeastern 16, we're doing our first month awards in SEC basketball. We're going to have some fun ones, too. Don't worry. They're not your traditional awards. We're going to have some fun awards coming for our members-only video coming up today. So if you want to join, hit that join button, hit that $sign button. It'll take you to the join page and all that. $3.99 a month. It just means more. It's a donation tier to the channel. Helps us do more of these live streams. We do this every day now. So pretty much. So again, if you want to join it, we got members-only video coming a little bit later. Awards for the first month of the SEC basketball season.
We have another Dubar is in concussion protocol. This is what I love so much about our chat. I mean, they know their stuff. They know their stuff. Thanks for helping us out. Because I couldn't find much. There we go. Dubar. Yeah. Hope you get healthy. He banged his head in practice. See, like we got the insiders. Dave's got binoculars outside of the Food City Center watching practice.
Or is Dave Rick Barnes? Did you ever consider that? Did you ever consider that, Max? Could that be Rick Barnes? Dave 0051.
You never know.
You never know how many coaches are coming in here with burner accounts. Maybe Sam Smith is a coach. Did you ever think about that?
I wouldn't put it past him.
Maybe.
Who would Sam Smith be if he were a coach?
Now, come on. We can't put that on any coach in the SEC, can we?
Dan
Who
Hurley?
would you be, Sam? Who would you be? Or you don't have to be SEC, I guess. It could be anybody in the country. Sam, who would you be if you were a coach? So, all right. Let's continue on.
Sam will have an answer. Arkansas. Should we talk Arkansas? Boy, that was a crazy game.
Chris,
Chris,
I think
check
your
your
mic
mic.
is. I think your mic's off, Chris.
Okay. Sorry. Been a day already.
Now, how are we? Better?
There we go.
There we go.
Okay. Coming in last night for my daughter's school concert, I'm getting texts about just how awful Arkansas is. Not from you guys, other people.
Not from us.
Not from you.
us.
It was not. Seriously, it was not from you guys. The minute I turned the game on, which was a couple minutes left in the second half, or the first half, they look like the 85 Lakers for about the next 15 minutes of game time. Michigan then goes on a run from down. What was the lead? 18 at one point? 15?
18.
Arkansas got ahead a bunch. Michigan then cuts it to 2 and has the ball to try to win or tie, which John L. Davis made probably the most important play of Arkansas's season. Looked like he was slipping on the play, too. Barely got a finger on the ball to cut off a baseline pass. But if you didn't see that game last night, that was a crazily entertaining game.
It was 33 points the last 10 minutes of the first half. 33 points the first 10 minutes of the second half. Arkansas had a 20-minute stretch of game time where they scored 66 points. Are you kidding me? Blake, unreal.
I know. I was actually, while you were talking, I was going to look that up, like the specific number. I should have known you already had that. But yes, like they were just, I mean, they could not be stopped. And I said, listen, Max went all in on his Arkansas beating Michigan prediction yesterday. I said, I can't do it until I see them win one of these games. And as it's getting late there, I'm like, oh no, like not again. Like, come on. Like, they got to find a way to win this game, right? And, I mean, even you're thinking that when they're down 15 in the first half, you're like, is this going to be where Arkansas is going to have to try to shoot their way back into it? Because I don't like that setup. But, man, they went off. And I think this is where, like, anytime, and we get it, like, there are going to be rival fan bases there are in the comments that just, I get it. Like, but anytime you try to write this team off, it's like, all of a sudden we get something like this, and you're like, well, hold on a second. I can't write them off anymore, please. I mean, how many other teams in the SEC are capable of putting a run together like that against a top 15 team? I mean, I'd say there's several, right? I mean, I'd say Auburn could do it, Tennessee could do it, Kentucky could do it, Florida could do it, probably Alabama could do it, sure, because the SEC is so strong. But, like, is the majority of the conference capable of that? Maybe not. Even as good as everyone's been, I don't know that everyone has the possibility to do what they just did in that setting, right? And so that's why I still think if you're looking at like a ceiling for a team, I still believe that Arkansas has one of the highest ceilings in the league. Maybe not top 5 anymore based on how good the top 5 has been. But what do you think, Chris? What's your
I mean, I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, like if you watched that game last night in stretches, and there were 3 very distinct stretches, whatever narrative you want to believe about Arkansas, you could completely justify based on whenever you watch the game. For me, most of what I watched was the good stretch, and in the middle of that stretch, they looked like they could beat anybody. They really did.
The thing is, though, is they looked like they could beat anybody for 20 straight minutes.
I know there's that also.
And then they only scored 9 points the last 9 minutes and 15 seconds of the game. They scored a point a minute, which is horrible, trying to close out a game in the last 10 minutes. So, I mean, you're right. You can draw whatever conclusion you want. But I just think this might be, and I was playing this game up. I mean, I knew how important this game was. This is a game where you're looking at, now we're starting to really get into the net. And, I mean, guys, conference play starts in 3 weeks. This game, Arkansas goes into it 45th in Ken Pom. They lose this thing, they're probably outside the top 50. They win it, they jump up to 38. I mean, that is a massive difference with only 3 games left before conference play starts. I mean, this could be a springboard for Arkansas. I mean, it really could. this could be a huge. We're going to be talking about this game come February. I guarantee it, because I'm going to make sure we do.
I want to ask you guys a question. Go ahead, Blake, with your comment first. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I don't remember what I was going to say. Go ahead.
I was going to ask, how would you rank Arkansas's guards right now?
I mean, there's a lot of good guards, but I mean, Boog, is there a better guard right now at just at fitting? Because hey, let's talk about it this way: you have Cal's offense that gets a lot of complaints with the ISO ball. But is there a different guard right now other than Boogie Flan that you would want playing this Cal point guard role? I mean, I feel like it's just a perfect match.
Yeah, I mean, he reminds you of just one of those, Kentucky point guards. I mean, he does. I mean, he's just, take your pick on whoever it is. Now, I'm not going to, there's been a lot of great point guards that Cal had at Kentucky, and I'm not going to say names because I know everyone will say, well, he's not that good. But you know who I'm talking about. There are multiple you can pick from. But, yes, he feels exactly like the kind of guy that was helping Kentucky thrive when they were, the top dog in the SEC year after year. So,
just fits it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's how Cal wants to play. And we're still going to have our issues with Cal when it comes to, half-court offense and what happens if you see zone and all this other stuff. But, if they got that guy running the show, you're going to get something accomplished. I mean, that was their third highest point total of the season, which you would think with the schedule they have, you're like, okay, surely they've scored that many. No, and so again, like I said, it's kind of been that inconsistency at times offensively, and that's been what we said. The defense is way further along than we thought it would be from a numbers standpoint. They've been way better on that end. And by the way, too, I got a bone to pick with some people here. I know that when Jonas Adu transferred from Tennessee, I get it. We talked about how they struggled last year against good players, but there were a lot of people trying to convince me that Jonas Adu was not going to be an important piece of the puzzle here for Arkansas. I just simply disagree, because he doesn't have to score 20 and 15, but for him to rebound, be able to block a few shots in key moments. He's played 26 and 27 minutes now the past two games. They looked as good as they've looked all season, last night, right, during that stretch. But I just think him being on the floor is very important for this team. And so just my thought, again, we can say he struggled at times against the better opponents, whatever, but man, I think they're way better with him than without him. And so I feel like he's going to be a big piece of the puzzle the rest of the way. But yeah, I mean, I look at this team now, and like I said, I was about to call him the new Texas A&M earlier, because it's like, is that how we label them? Where, just when we think we're all the way back in, do they, push you back out? I don't know. I don't know if that's fair yet to start having that conversation. But so far, yes, they've struggled in the big games against Baylor and Illinois. But this was the kind of game, like I said, that can absolutely make you rethink your opinion on Arkansas and go back to where I was going into the season saying, I got the googly eyes about this team and what they can be. They're back after the win over the top 15 Michigan Wolverines.
I got two things real quick before we move on. Just real quick. This felt like the first time they're all healthy. I know they had the full roster a few times, but it was like you're just trying to get guys in some spots to get them some game action, and it doesn't really feel like everything's clicking. This had the feeling of, okay, this is what this squad looks like. This is what this rotation looks like when they're firing on all cylinders. So there's that development. And then also, I might be a game or two off, but I remember seeing a tweet last night that said when DJ Wagner scores in double figures, his teams are 16-1. Now, I might be slightly off on that, but it's something ridiculous. That is right? Okay.
That's right. Yep. Because we talked about that stat last year. Yeah.
Yep.
That was the one thing we kept bringing up last year with Kentucky, was he needed to score in double figures, and every time he did, they were in good shape. So
you get that production from DJ, could be a springboard game for him.
They are the biggest wild card in the league right now, in my opinion. And a lot of it's because I don't know. You just hit on one thing with Wagner. When DJ Wagner was a junior, correct me if I'm wrong, he was like the number one high school player in the country for a bit. And then he fell down, I think, closer to 10 by the time everything was done. You look at his numbers this year; they're not great. But like for a while last night when they were really going, and I know they play all three of their guards at the same time, but it feels like to me like if he gets closer to his ceiling, he probably takes a bigger role than John L. Davis. So I still don't quite know what to do with either, which you would think you would with the body of work, but something has just not been right with him. I know injuries played a part of it, but that backcourt dynamic and like who should be. I mean, Flan is the guy, right? He's the guy like
Right.
you talked about, the prototypical Cal point guard. But I'm just very interested to see of those other two who ends up being the bigger piece of what they do going forward. I mean, look, they all can and need to be, but like if Wagner plays close to his ceiling, again, you saw part of last night what that looks like.
And do we start getting more out of Carter Knox? You know, Carter Knox and Billy Richmond were kind of just floating in those freshman minutes, and then boom, big primetime game with a lot of resume pressure on you. Billy Richmond only gets 1 minute. Carter Knox gets 13 minutes and hits a huge three. I think we might be able to see a little bit more Carter Knox here in some big minutes.
All right. Anything else on the Hogs, who the rest of the schedule, by the way, you may have mentioned it. Sorry, I was looking at something else, but our guy Du Thero also played through an illness. So that's what they're talking about in broadcast, I think, right? So
did you see some of the Cal stuff after the game? Some of his reactions and stuff? Oh my gosh.
Surely we've got something on Twitter, right, that we can.
Scott Van Pelt goes, how tough's the SEC? Oof. Oof.
Yeah. He was like, yeah.
And then he walks into the press conference on speakerphone with Karl Anthony Towns.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
In the middle of a conversation, walks right up to, the mic where he's sitting down, on speakerphone. Oh, Billy also had the flu. See, our chat.
Yeah, I was gonna say they
fantastic.
had. Yeah.
A little bit of a flu bug going around.
Let me see if I can find this real quick on. We'll play the thing with Karl Anthony Towns because he's had some funny stuff. Hold on 1 second. He called him out on something. All right, hold on. Let me see if we got it. Don't worry, Sam. I saw your voicemail. All right. Let's see.
Lots of insider info from the. I'm telling you, this is the stuff that I love.
I know. And by the way, if you're joining, like, and you're realizing why we're spending so much time on certain games, like we only had 2 games last night.
2 games.
Like it's all we have to talk about. Like we'll talk about Kentucky Colgate and the 48.5 point spread here in a minute, but
standalone game
tonight. All right, let's see if we can get this to work. I forgot how to do this. This is why we have to get Max on this stuff.
Yeah, so the media is now listening to you. So
hold on.
That's Carl Towns.
We can hear
He
it.
doesn't stop. He's talked his whole life. He had every excuse. No, he's had. Yeah, so the media is now listening to you. So. Yeah, because I watch you shooting threes now, and I say you won a game last night shooting threes. I let these guys shoot threes, yeah. But the one thing I'll tell you, you made free throws. You would make. You couldn't guard pick and roll defense. You couldn't guard pick and roll defense. You still can't. So, I love you, brother. I'm in the front of the media, so look, you're bothering me. I love you. You're the best. Bye-bye.
Oh boy, great stuff.
Can't make it up.
No.
That's not the
at
only
all.
Cal clip we have, is it?
I think that's it.
You could find a few from every game.
We don't double up on Cal. We only give the people one. That's all we do. So, anyways, all right. There was something else I was going to get to. You guys talk for a second. So give some thoughts on Kentucky Colgate because there's something I want to do here in just a minute. So.
Wait, hold on. Before we get there, the comment section has just been on their stuff. We have Billy Richmond with the flu, a Du Thero with the flu, and then Big Z's been playing through that ankle. He didn't even warm up last game. I was surprised he was out there playing as well as he had.
Yeah.
There you go.
We have a really, really basketball savvy audience here.
We do. It's great.
Well, I'm a big fan of Hero Blake here. Great name, if you ask me. We've been showing the Hawks some love for, 15 minutes. So, yeah, do a little replay. That's what we said. I think the Hogs are, now with a win like that, that's what they were missing. We said that.
Yep.
Look at all the other teams in front of them that had quality, top-notch wins. They were missing that win, and that's why we said this was so important and why it was such a big win, was because they needed this bad. Because if you compared their NCAA tournament resume, take out the potential of how good they can be. If you compared their resume up until that game last night to so many other teams in the SEC, they're way further down there. But that's the kind of win that gets you going. Central Arkansas, North Carolina A&T, Oakland left in the non-conference. They should win all those. And then the big one to start SEC play. What a perfect day to bring this up. Arkansas at Tennessee on January the 4th. What a thing here. So
that's some start to conference play there.
Yeah. All right. Let's do quick thoughts on Kentucky Colgate. Then there's two things I want to do. I see Justin hopped in to this, but here we go. Kentucky Colgate, Max.
So we have a spread of 33.5.
Ooh.
Only a few possessions. Either way. Yep. Now Colgate, usually a Patriot League powerhouse, very down this year. Very down this year. I always like to watch the Colgate-Syracuse games at the beginning of the season. They play every year, and Colgate actually played them real tight. But I think that told you more about Syracuse than it did Colgate. Colgate only has one D1 win on the year right now, and it was against Wilmington. So they're not bad. I think they're better than their 2-8 record because, Matt Langle, great coach. They're better than their record, but, man, it's a down year for a usually powerhouse Patriot League team.
Thoughts, Chris?
Yeah, I was kind of looking through the Ken Palm for them because they're usually one of those 14, 15 seeds in the NCAA tournament you don't want to play. I don't know why they're way down this year. Matt Langle's a really good coach. The thing to me, it's a blowout on paper, so you look for interesting things. The thing to me will be the point guard tonight, how the minutes go, how that looks, because they're down. Butler, I guess Butler's back, right? But
Brandon, what did Brandon tell us yesterday, Blake, with Lamont?
What did he? I'm sorry. What did he say yesterday?
I don't think there is.
Or is he back?
No, I don't think there is an update. That's why.
Okay, and Crease is out for at least a month?
Yeah,
3 to 6 weeks.
Okay, so what does that look like? Who runs it? This is I think this is a good game to have in that spot because you got some stuff to figure out between now and when those guys get healthy.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, I was trying to achieve something here. I was trying to gift Joe Mother in the chat a special membership to the It Just Means More tier at Southeastern 16. He was asking for that a minute ago. We do have some of those free to give out every now and then. So I was trying to gift it, and Joe, I cannot figure out how to do it. So Justin Holland has jumped in, though. Justin is notorious for gifting out memberships. Maybe he'll give you one. We'll find out. But I'll also try to find a way to do that because you're a regular here. You join us every day on the live stream. So if you guys want to hop into the It Just Means More tier, you can do that. So, all right. What else we got? Kentucky, Colgate, as we said. Cats are big favorite in this one.
Yeah, the Butler issue. This is reading Kentucky's SI site. This is a quote from Mark Pope. It's day-to-day right now. I'm hoping to see him on the court some Tuesday to see how he is. We'll see how that goes. He got some work done today away from the team, was at practice. His voice was there, but he wasn't doing anything active with us. So we're going to see how he responds tomorrow morning, see how he feels. But we're really feeling sooner rather than later. It's a matter of days. I would like those days to include a game on Wednesday. Let's see how that goes. Now, look, to me, if it's questionable going into tonight, already down Crease said, unless he's 100%, I don't play him. That's just me.
Yeah, because they got Louisville on Saturday. Yeah, they're not gonna. I think that's what Brandon said yesterday. They're not going to take a chance. Louisville's on Saturday. It's a much bigger game, you would think, than the one is tonight. So,
Blake, you don't have to pull it up if you don't want to. I just sent you a tweet. But did you guys see the Lamont Butler halftime speech from their game against the Zags? I mean, Lamont Butler is in the halftime locker room, down 16, something like that, against the Zags, and I mean, he's drawing up the defense to how to stop that middle pick and roll, and then Nembhard comes out and just barely gets anything going. Yeah, we don't have to watch the entire thing.
None of it was going to work if we didn't have the effort.
I
But
hate how
there
you
is
just
a,
you can't hold on. You cannot start this thing at the beginning. It just auto plays.
There we go. Yeah.
Regardless of what the game plan was
And
going
he's
into
drawing up
it,
that middle pick and roll.
None of it was going to work if we didn't have the effort, and I felt like the effort wasn't
And then
there
watch
in the first
Jackson
half.
take a little bit of a leadership role as well, right here.
We talk about being together. We look like messed up. Look, bro, we're not embarrassing. Okay, the second half, bro, at least go out there like let's all go play ball.
We talked about all the adjustments that we wanted to make and the things we were looking to do going into the second half, which obviously is super important, but none of it is going to work unless we believe.
You want to think?
There you go.
So yeah, we don't have to watch the whole thing, but yeah, Lamont in there, even though he's not playing, that shows you how important he is to this team. I mean, quite literally coaching up that middle ball screen defense first thing right out of the halftime. And then you got Jackson Robinson saying, yeah, guys, who cares if we lose this thing? Can we just freaking play hard? What are we doing out there? I love that.
Yep. All right. Well, we don't have, again, but we'll do a stream tomorrow. And if you are just joining us, we said we're doing another video today here in just a bit for the It Just Means More tier. If you want to join that, we're doing our first month awards in SEC basketball. So got a bunch of fun awards. Don't worry, they're not just your traditional awards. It will be worth your money, I promise, if you decide to join the tier. And let's get to a couple things here in the chat before we hop off. Shout out to Haas. Always looks forward to the show in the comments. Yes, we try to be fair to all the teams. Some people may not agree with that, but we try. Great comment here. Sam is definitely Eric Musselman. That's who we've figured out. Nice. You say that. All right, guys, I'm going to warn you right now. I'm going to give you a 5-second warning. Turn your volume down a little bit if you need to. But because you tied this in with Sam Smith and Eric Musselman, I'm going to play the Sam voicemail. I think we got it about 5:50 this morning. Don't worry, it's like 5 seconds long. So if you're in public, turn your volume down. Here we go.
How about them hogs? Oh, hit it, do it, raise it back.
There you go, folks.
Clip that, Max. Please clip that.
There you have it.
Great.
So maybe he was recorded that last year. So we'll find out.
That was 5:50 a.m.
I think so.
What does Sam do? What do we think Sam does for a living?
He's a member of the It Just Means More tier for a living. That's what he does.
What
he's
he
a
does.
Southeastern 16 regular. If everyone could only be so lucky. Shout out to our guy Flying Blind, jumping in, Arkansas fan, Woo Pig. We got two of the former regular, like Vol Steak and Flying Blind were
Some
two
regulars.
of the first
our
ones to
favorites.
ever be on the channel. So good for that. Appreciate you joining us as always. All right, let's see if there's anything else. So let's see. How does one leave voicemails, Justin? How about this, Justin? I'll tell you if you gift a membership to Joe Mother. No, I'll leave a. If you guys want to leave a voicemail here, I'll put it in the chat right now. Let me see here. All right,
Just like
memo.fm.
link, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
I sent the wrong link, guys. My goodness, hold on.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, you guys talk through something. This is like when I have to do this
Did
stuff.
we answer
I know
Justin's
I sound very
question
scattered,
earlier?
but
The
I don't
super
know,
chat?
Chris. I'm not sure.
Yeah, let's pull it up. Yep.
Max is, yeah.
What is Vanderbilt's ceiling in this league? 8th, 9th, 10th? Chris, you have a great feel on this Vandy team. What is 8, 9, 10 a little aggressive, or you think they can do it?
Oh, I'm going to have to pull the schedule up. Give me just a moment.
Yep.
Oh, are we
Southie
really going
and
to try to?
KenPom. Well,
How can we
Okay.
possibly? I mean, in all
don't
honesty,
know.
right now, how could you possibly come up with this figure based on how strong the league is?
Don't try to, mix and match the schedules and anything. Just more of like is Vanderbilt capable of finishing in the middle pack of this league this year? I think
that feels aggressive. Ken Palm's got it 6-12 though, guys. I mean, 2 wins from that is 8-10. So
there you
you're
go.
Right there. I mean, I like some things they're doing. I mean, if you're not watching Jason Edwards, which probably outside of Nashville nobody is, he's really become a go-to guy for them. They've got as many experienced point guards as probably anybody in the league does. Inside is where they're kind of hurting. But like if you look at offensive rating, the number one offensive rating guys in this league at Sports Reference today, you would never guess. It's Devin McLaughlin.
McLaughlin.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They've got some sneaky parts. They have some weaknesses. I think you go into conference play and I think they're going to have a really tough time making the NCAA tournament. And that's more about Vanderbilt than is at everybody else. But they're doing some interesting stuff. Nobody's watching them because they've been down for so long. And there's a beauty pageant, in the top half of the league, if not 2/3, that's got everybody's attention. As well it should. But they're kind of interesting. I could see it going a couple of ways. I could see their weaknesses sort of collapse it through no fault of their own, just the strength of the league night in and night out. But they've got a guy in Jason Edwards who's a dude to be contended with. They got a guy inside who's been really efficient, and they got a lot of other guys. Oh, and they got Tyler Tanner, who's having one of the craziest statistical seasons you'll ever see right now.
Well, I think if you're projecting ahead, I mean, it's really hard, but you got to look at who you play. They play Tennessee twice. They play Kentucky twice. They play Auburn once. They play Alabama once. We know, those are all tough. They play Florida once. So, you don't get the full crop at the top right now twice. But, I think anytime you're doing that kind of thing with the way the league is this year, it's just tough. They play Missouri twice. I think those are the teams they play twice.
They play Tennessee twice. They play
Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri. Yep,
Kentucky twice. I mean, that's why I was looking at the schedule. That's what 2 of our top 4 teams. They got Auburn once.
I'll tell you what, though, guys.
I guess it could be worse, but it's not ideal.
Their first 4 games, though, it's LSU, Mississippi State, Missouri, South Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, if they can sneak out a 3-1, and really, maybe you drop the road game to Missouri and you snag a big win at home against Mississippi State. Those first 4 games, if you can get 3 wins out of there and you only need 5 more wins the rest of the conference season.
I mean, here's great comment.
It's out there. It's out there.
Is this comment inaccurate? I don't think it is.
No, it's not. I don't think it is.
Who are we going to count out? I mean, maybe South Carolina just based on the fact they have more losses than anybody right now. But in all honesty, would I just completely count them out just yet? No.
I would have a hard time seeing Tennessee there.
Well, no, he's not saying – no, wait a second. No. I don't think he's not – he's not saying teams are going to drop. He's saying basically anyone in that group of like a Vanderbilt probably can finish in the middle of the pack.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah, I think that's it. So, yeah. All right, hold on. We've got questions coming in. How do you join the It Just Means More tier? Boy, here we go again. So I'm trying to remember how this works, folks. If you hit the $ button, if you're on a mobile, I think, or a desktop, you hit that $ button that's right there on the screen underneath the title or whatever. That sends you to an option to join the membership. It's not just a super chat. It gives you the option to join the It Just Means More tier, I'm pretty sure. But also, you can, I mean, look, Sam, I've tried this so many times. I don't know why this is made so difficult. But, yeah, you mean let Chris Lee explain it? Sure. Let's let Chris try to explain how to join.
Does it mean me or does it mean Clark Lee?
No, I think he means you.
Wait. No, I don't know.
Or just, again, or the easiest way is just to watch it on, a computer and it'll say join. But I'm pretty sure right below the video there is a button, $. Hit that button. Gives you an option to join the membership. Awards coming up today for members only. So there you go. We do our best here to try to give out the instructions, but our friends here do not make them easy. So, yeah. All right. What else we got? We're almost out of here.
Last few comments here. What do we got? I'm looking up a few. I know there was a few.
Here we go.
Where
Here's
was
one.
it?
Icon says, explain the net rankings. No thanks. And Duke and Gonzaga ahead of Kentucky. We talked about that a little bit yesterday. Like, there's no way we can explain the net rankings. They're not my favorite. I don't think there's anyone's favorite. They're fine, but like many other metrics, I think they have flaws. But
How'd
in terms
Arkansas
of
jump up from last night?
they jumped up a
Gotta
little
look.
bit, I think.
They had to.
Yeah.
The net's usually pretty close to Ken Palm, right?
Oh, I don't think so. Right? No chance.
I believe they
Are we
jumped
sure
up
about
9
that?
spots. Yeah, they jumped up 9 spots.
I feel like the net
From-
always has a wild outlier somewhere. So
It's usually like a
Maybe
Arkansas is
major
40th
too.
now. They were 49th before that Michigan game, if I'm not wrong.
yeah, I mean in the net, let's see here. If we're gonna, gosh, the net. Why am I?
You
talking
see
about the
Irvine's
net?
23,
Good
whereas you see
grief.
Irvine in
Yeah,
they're
they're
53 in Ken Palm.
yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's
You're-
usually it feels like it's usually the
Don't
mid.
be hating on the anteaters.
Oh, I'm not.
I
Not
know.
at
I've been
all.
warned.
Yeah, please don't hate on my anteaters. So, all right, Daniel. Yes, we did cover Tennessee. We started the show with that.
After we finish, I'll go in the comments and put the times on them so you can just click right to it.
Yeah. Shout out to Nathan. Keeping the day flowing here. Yeah, go back and do a little rewind action, Nathan. Yeah, keep the day flowing for him and the 12-hour security shifts. You got it, my friend. So we got you covered here at Southeastern 16. Back to this. It's hidden on the mobile to join. Looking for a link. I know, Peyton. I'm doing my best here. It's somewhere. Oh, you know what, Peyton? We figured it out. I know what to tell you. Go back to the main page. So on the mobile, I'm going to tell you to click out of this video and go to Southeastern 16, the main home deal there that shows you all of our videos. You'll see a button right underneath. As you scroll down a little bit, it'll say join, or it'll show you the membership and all that. So I'm doing the best I can, Sam, to try to instruct people. But again, it is what it is. Go to the main page. You'll find it there. Hit that join button. Member section. It's there. So, all right. Holy cow. All right.
Alrighty.
We got one more thing to
we're
do. No, we're not. We're not good yet because there's one more thing we got to do. So I'll tell you this. The frustrations that I've had with trying to explain the It Just Means More to you at Southeastern 16 have made me think about moving. Max, did you know that?
You hit me with a curveball.
You
I
know,
was not expecting this.
I have no idea what moving will do to solve our issue, but I've got to take a shot. You know why? Because there is a place I know that is so great at handling moving logistics that I feel like I just have to move at this point, you know? And you know what they're called? Do you have any idea?
Slipping my mind right now.
You still don't know. My goodness. It's Sanders Logistics, folks. They're incredible. We keep saying, your friends and mine, Sanders Logistics, formerly known as Ted R. Sanders Moving, a leader among companies in Nashville, Tennessee, and the surrounding area. Their team of professional movers are focused on delivering efficient, hassle-free moving at an affordable price. Efficient and hassle-free does not describe the instructions to join the It Just Means More tier at Southeastern 16. So if you want efficient, hassle-free anything, Sanders Logistics will give it. I can't guarantee you they'll give you anything, but I can guarantee you they'll give you hassle-free moving at an affordable price, just like the It Just Means More tier at Southeastern 16. Whether you're moving across town or across the country, Starkville, where else do we come up with? We try to get all the S places. Starkville, Saskatchewan,
Santa
a bunch of
Fe,
other places like that. Santa Fe, Sacramento.
Station
Lovell.
College.
There you go. You guys got all the S's covered. We'll move on to the QRST. We'll move on to the T's later. Sanders Logistics have you covered, folks.
Sold.
Anywhere you
Sold.
want to move.
There's
It doesn't have
city
to be a
called
place
Sold,
with starts.
Sam?
Don't ask Sam if he please.
Sam's our
Um,
resident
you-
geography major.
You don't have to move anywhere that starts with an S. You can literally move anywhere that starts with any letter of the alphabet with our friends at Sanders Logistics. Visit them at tedrsandersmoving.com. Again, your friends and ours here at Southeastern 16. If you want to sponsor the show and you want to hear an ad read for your sponsor or someone else's sponsor or anyone, you can do that by reaching out to caroline.smith at southeastern14.com. Southeastern14.com. Not 16 yet. We're still working on the emails. But we're not efficient there. Sanders Logistics is. So there you go.
Sam says we're uncultured.
Well. All right.
Where does Sanders Logistics sit in the updated power rankings? I think we had different votes on them this past week.
I mean, look, we only have 2 sponsors, folks. So they're 1A and 1B. So if you want ad read power rankings, you're going to have to find us some more sponsors here on the show. So we have a new sponsor actually coming up here in about a month or so. But there are plenty of spots that are filling pretty quickly here. We've had multiple in the past couple of days. So keep reaching out. Send us your sponsors, and you know we got a great ad read for them here at Southeastern 16. So there we go. We're out of here.
When are we back next?
Thank you for watching. Yes,
I don't know.
Blake,
Tomorrow.
we're back next.
Well, we're back in a little while with the awards show coming up here in a bit.
Right.
But again, you have to be part of a special tier for that. But tomorrow we'll do something. We only have one game to talk about tomorrow, but hey, we'll do something tomorrow for you guys.
We'll be on.
That's what we do. We'll deliver an efficient show tomorrow, hassle-free.
We got football stuff coming up. Max, when are we putting the Tony Basilio
Today.
interview up? Today. Okay.
Today.
Did that yesterday. 50 minutes. Great stuff with Tony, as always. So
Which is
Tennessee
Tennessee,
fans,
folks.
you want to catch that as we talk about Tennessee, Ohio State in the playoff. We got all kinds of bowl previews coming up as soon as we actually know who's playing for these teams, which is a little bit of an issue at the moment. Yeah, we're here covering football, baseball, basketball year round. Hit the subscribe button and the like button if you don't mind, please. God bless you guys. Thanks for watching. For Max Barr and Blake Lovell, I'm Chris Lee. You've been watching Southeastern 16, presented by BetOnline.